My friend, let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked around at this fast-moving, hyper-connected, constantly evolving world and thought to yourself, am I actually in control of my life, or am I just reacting to everything around me? You wake up to a phone full of notifications. You're pulled in 100 directions before you've had your morning coffee. The economy is shifting. Jobs are changing. AI is learning faster than people. And in the middle of it all, something gets lost. Your voice, your vision, your direction. Now hear me carefully. I'm not here to give you another motivational quote. I'm not here to tell you to grind harder or fake it till you make it. No, I'm here to remind you of a truth so powerful. It built empires, shaped destinies, and created millionaires from men and women who started with nothing. It is the same truth that Andrew Carnegie whispered into my ear. The same truth that carried Edison, Ford, and Rockefeller to the mountaintop of success. And it is this: whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. That truth was written down nearly a century ago. But make no mistake, it's more relevant now than ever before. Why? Because we don't live in an age of limitation anymore. We live in an age of overwhelm. Too many choices, too many distractions, too much noise. But the principles of success, the mindset that leads to greatness, has not changed, and it never will. You see, every generation faces its own battlefield. And today, our battlefield isn't just economic or political, it's mental. Your greatest enemy is not out there. It's not inflation. It's not automation. It's not your boss. It's not even the system. It's the way you think. Because if you can't control your thoughts will control you. If you don't lead your mind will drift. And drifting is the silent killer of dreams. So today, right now, I challenge you not to hustle harder, not to consume more, but to go back to the foundation, to the original principles of success, to the timeless laws of achievement, to the very mindset that built America's greatest fortunes from the ground up. And as you'll see in this video, that mindset isn't old, it's eternal, it's not outdated, it's essential. It's not a thing of the past, it is the path forward. Because in a world where everything moves faster, he who controls his mind still wins. Success begins the moment you decide what you truly want. Let me say that again, because it is the starting point of everything. Success begins the moment you decide what you truly want. And most people never do. They chase money, they chase titles, they chase trends. But when you ask them, what is your chief aim in life? They go silent. You see, the problem in 2025 is no longer a lack of opportunity. It's a lack of clarity. People jump from job to job. They start projects they never finish. They want this today and that tomorrow. And they wonder why success never shows up. But here's the secret. There can be no success without a definite chief aim. Napoleon Hill, The Law of Success, Lesson 2. Why? Because the mind, your mind, is like a magnet. It attracts only what you focus on with consistency and emotion. If your focus is scattered, your results will be scattered. If your goals are vague, your outcomes will be vague. If your purpose is unclear, your life will feel like a wandering ship with no destination. So let me ask you, what do you want? I mean really want, not what your parents expect, not what social media tells you to chase, not what your friends are doing, but you. What is the one thing you're willing to go all in on? The one thing worth fighting for? The dream that makes your heart beat faster? That is your definite chief aim. Carnegie had one. Ford had one. So did Edison, Lincoln, and every titan I ever interviewed. They weren't the smartest. They weren't the richest. But they were the clearest. And clarity creates power. Once they made a decision, not just in thought, but in spirit, the world began to rearrange itself around their commitment. Let me give you a true story. A young man once came to me and said, "Mr. Hill, I want to work with Thomas Edison." I asked, "Do you mean work for Edison?" He said, "No, sir. I mean with him as a partner." That young man was Edwin C. Barnes. He had no money, no influence, no connections, but he had a definite purpose and a burning desire to achieve it. He got on a freight train, rode hundreds of miles, and showed up at Edison's lab with dirt on his face and determination in his eyes. He didn't get the partnership on day one. He swept floors, he ran errands, he waited. but he never lost sight of his goal. And one day, when Edison needed a new salesman to market a strange new invention, the dictating machine, Barnes saw his chance. He volunteered. He delivered. And that opportunity turned into the partnership he had dreamed of. Edison later said, there was something in the expression of that man's face which conveyed the impression that he was determined to get what he had come after. Now listen carefully. That is the power of a definite purpose. It will give your life direction. It will help you say no to distractions. It will pull you through the setbacks, and it will align your mind, your time, and your energy with your highest goal. So if you want your life to change, don't ask for more motivation. Ask for clarity. Define it, write it, see it, and above all, believe it. Because a drifting mind cannot build a destiny, but a definite one can move mountains. If definiteness of purpose is the engine of success, then positive mental attitude is the fuel. Because without the right attitude, your goals will be heavy, your obstacles will feel permanent, and your vision will be nothing more than a blurry dream. But with the right attitude, you become unstoppable. Now listen closely. A positive mental attitude is the right mental attitude in all circumstances. Success attracts more success when you condition your mind to see possibilities, not problems. Napoleon Hill. You see, we live in a world that teaches us to focus on what's wrong. The news sells fear. Social media sells comparison. Our own mind, if left unchecked, will sell us the belief that we're not good enough. But the truth is, it's not what happens to you that matters most. It's how you interpret it. A positive mental attitude doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means choosing your focus. It means asking better questions. It means training your mind to look for opportunity, even in the ashes. Let me give you an example. When Thomas Edison's laboratory burned to the ground in 1914, destroying years of inventions and notebooks, his son rushed to find him. Do you know what Edison said? He didn't curse. He didn't complain. He didn't collapse. He looked at the fire and said, "There's great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burned up. Thank God we can start anew." Now that is the power of a trained mind. So the question is, how do you respond when things go wrong? Do you spiral? Do you quit? Or do you shift your focus and ask, what's the lesson here? What's the opportunity inside this mess? Because here's what I've learned. After studying the lives of the most successful people in history, they didn't avoid failure. They didn't have easier lives. They didn't get lucky. What they had was attitude, an attitude that refused to give up, an attitude that searched for the seed of benefit in every adversity, an attitude that believed, if I keep going, something good will come of this. So how do you build a positive mental attitude? Here are 3 powerful practices. 1. Guard the gates of your mind. You become what you consume. Stop filling your mind with fear, gossip, negativity. Instead, feed it truth, faith, gratitude, and possibility daily. 2. Talk to yourself. Don't just listen. When your mind whispers, you can't do it, you must answer, watch me. Replace fear with faith, consciously, repeatedly, consistently. 3. Act as if it's already possible. Faith without works is dead. When you act in alignment with belief, you activate the subconscious, and the subconscious moves mountains. Let me say this as clearly as I can. No one is born successful, but everyone has access to the mental attitude that creates success. And you, my friend, are no exception. If you can master your attitude, you can transform your reality. Not someday, not when the economy gets better, not when someone gives you permission, but starting now. Because with a positive mental attitude, all things become possible. Let me tell you a secret. Every building, every business, every book, every breakthrough was born in the same place. Not in a factory, not in a classroom, not in a boardroom, but in a mind powered by imagination. Imagination is the workshop of the mind, where all plans are created. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, Chapter 6. Before Ford built the Model T, he saw it in his mind. Before Edison brought the light bulb to life, he imagined it, failing, breaking, burning, 1,000 times. Before any great man or woman changed the world, they dreamed it first. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you really imagined something for yourself? Not just a hope, not just a wish. I'm talking about a vision so clear, you could touch it, taste it, Hear it in your bones. Because here's the hard truth. Most people stopped dreaming the day someone laughed at their idea. And the rest? They buried their dreams under a pile of to-do lists, bills, and responsibilities. But here's what they don't teach you in school. Everything you need to change your life is already in your mind. The question is, are you using it to imagine the best or replay the worst? See, imagination works both ways. It's a powerful tool or a dangerous weapon. Some people use it to create, others use it to fear. They imagine what might go wrong. They rehearse failure before they've even started. And then they say, it's safer to stay where I am. Let me hit you with this. You're not stuck because you don't have a way out. You're stuck because you stopped looking for one. So how do you reclaim the power of imagination? How do you reignite the inner spark, the one life tried to dim? You do this. 1. You give yourself permission to dream again. Not someday, not when it's convenient, but now. Because no one is coming to hand you a vision. That's your job. 2. You create a clear mental picture of what you want. Write it, visualize it, feel it. Napoleon Hill called this auto-suggestion, impressing your subconscious with your vision until it becomes a part of you. 3. You act in harmony with the image you hold. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for conditions to be perfect. You move, and the path reveals itself. Let me speak to your heart. If your current life doesn't excite you, it's because your imagination has gone quiet. But the truth is, it's still there. It's waiting. It's whispering. Remember what we came here to do. So the question is, will you continue to live by memory? Or will you finally start living by vision? Because the life you want is real, but only if you build it, first, in your mind. Let me be blunt. You can have all the dreams, all the vision, all the knowledge in the world, but if you lack self-discipline, none of it will matter. It's like owning the blueprint for a skyscraper, but never laying a single brick. It's like having a map to a treasure, but refusing to walk the path. Self-discipline is the bridge between thought and action, between desire and destiny. Napoleon Hill. You see, in this era of instant everything, instant food, instant followers, instant gratification, discipline has become a lost art. But let me tell you something. Discipline is the price success demands, and you either pay it up front or you pay it with regret. Now, I'm not talking about forcing yourself to do things you hate. I'm talking about honoring your word to yourself. I'm talking about doing the thing, even when you don't feel like it, especially when no one's watching. Because self-discipline is the most honest mirror you will ever face. It doesn't care what you say you want. It only reflects what you're willing to do. Let me ask you straight, how many times have you said, I'll start tomorrow? I'll wake up early. I'll commit this time for real. And then what happened? You didn't need more motivation. You needed follow-through. Here's the truth. No one wants to admit. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. So how do you build discipline? 1. Start with one small promise and keep it. Drink the water, do the workout, write the page. Doesn't matter how small, it's about building trust with yourself. 2. Track consistency, not perfection. You will slip. That's okay. What matters is this. Do you show up again? The disciplined don't succeed because they never fall. They succeed because they never stay down. 3. Attach your actions to your identity. Don't just try to be productive. Say, I am a person who follows through. Then act like it, again and again, until it becomes who you are. Now hear me clearly. Self-discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect. When you honor your goals with action, you show the world. I am not a prisoner of my moods. I am the master of my path. And isn't that what freedom truly is? Not doing whatever you feel like, but doing what's right, even when it's hard. So the next time your alarm rings and your mind says sleep, the next time your fear says wait, the next time your old habits whisper skip it just this once. Remember this line, your destiny is on the other side of your discipline. Now go get it. Let me tell you a simple truth. The world does not reward average. It rewards extra, not extra talent, not extra luck, but those who are willing to do more than expected. Render more service than that for which you are paid, and sooner or later, you will receive more pay than that for which you render service. Napoleon Hill, The Law of Success. In plain English, Do more than you're paid for. And soon, you'll be paid for more than you do. You see, most people do the bare minimum. They do just enough not to get fired. They show up, punch in, zone out, and wonder why nothing changes. But the people who rise, the ones who lead, who build, who inspire, they do more effort, more care, more consistency, and they don't wait for applause. They give extra, because it's who they are, not just what they're paid to do. Let me hit you with this. If you only do what you're told, you'll only get what you're given. But when you take initiative, when you show excellence before it's required, when you give when no one's watching, you rise, you become unforgettable, you create a gravitational pull that opportunity can't ignore. Let me give you a real-world example. A young man once worked at a shoe store. He wasn't the manager, he wasn't paid on commission. But every time a customer walked in, he greeted them with energy. He cleaned the shelves without being told. He helped train new hires without being asked. One day, the regional director visited the store. He saw how this young man moved, how he acted like he owned the place. Within months, that employee was promoted, twice. Within 2 years, he was managing 3 stores. Why? Because he lived one simple law. Do more than you're paid to do. And one day, you'll be paid beyond anything you imagined. But let me be clear, going the extra mile doesn't just change your paycheck. It changes your character. It builds self-respect. It earns trust. It opens doors that talent alone can't unlock. Because in a world full of shortcuts, excellence becomes rare. And what's rare becomes valuable. So ask yourself, where in your life are you doing just enough? Where have you settled for checking boxes instead of delivering excellence? And more importantly, where can you go just a little further? One more call, one more rep, one more kind gesture, one more day of giving your best, not because you have to, but because you choose to. That's the difference. That's the edge. That's the standard of greatness. Let's not sugarcoat this. Fear is real. And it's ruthless. It whispers in your ear. It creeps in when you're alone. It masks itself as logic, caution, even common sense. But make no mistake, fear is not just an emotion. It's a strategy, used by your own mind to keep you small. And here's the most dangerous part. It doesn't scream. It doesn't fight. It quietly convinces you to settle. Fear is the tool of a man-made devil, and drifting is his weapon. Napoleon Hill. Outwitting the devil. Let me break that down. Drifting means this. You don't choose. You don't commit. You don't risk. You don't rise. You scroll. You stall. You wait. And all the while, your potential dies. Slowly, quietly, politely. Not with a bang, but with a shrug. Let me ask you this. What would you do if fear wasn't in the room? What would you build, say, start, end, or become? Now, what's stopping you? If the answer is, I'm not ready, let me ask, when was the last time you truly felt ready to change your life? You won't. Because fear will never leave on its own. It must be defeated, confronted, dismantled. Here's the truth. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's doing the work, with fear sitting right beside you. You act despite the tremble. You speak despite the doubt. You move, even if your knees shake. Because the only way out is through. Hill taught that most fears fall into 6 invisible prisons. 1. Fear of poverty. 2. Fear of criticism. 3. Fear of ill health. 4. Fear of loss of love. 5. Fear of old age. 6. Fear of death. But you know what? The most paralyzing fear is this. The fear of what people might think if you try and fail. So you don't try. You stay safe. But let me be brutally honest with you. Safe is not safe. It's a cage. So how do you fight fear? 1. Call it out. Name the fear. Say it out loud. Because what you don't name controls you. 2. Do the opposite. Fear says, wait. You move. Fear says, be quiet. You speak. Fear says, play small. You expand. 3. Flood your mind with faith. You can't kill fear with logic. You overcome it with belief, spoken, visualized, repeated, until it sinks deeper than fear itself. Let me leave you with this. Your dream is not waiting for a perfect version of you. It's waiting for the version of you who is willing to walk through fear, one bold step at a time. So don't wait to be fearless. Just don't let fear decide. Because the life you want is on the other side of the thing you're afraid to do. Let me be clear. No one rises alone. Not Ford, not Edison, not Carnegie, not Hill. Behind every great achievement, there is a mastermind, a collective force of minds, a vision, of belief, of support. No two minds ever come together without thereby creating a third invisible force, which may be likened to a third mind, the mastermind. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. In other words, when the right people align, something greater is born. Now listen, you may be smart, you may be driven, you may have raw talent, but if you surround yourself with people who doubt your dreams, mock your ambition, complain constantly, stay stuck and call it normal, then no matter how gifted you are, they will pull you down, because proximity is power. You don't just absorb people's energy, you absorb their beliefs, their standards, their limitations. Let me ask you something. Who are the 5 people you talk to most? Are they stretching you or shrinking you? Are they lifting you or limiting you? Are they expanding your vision or infecting it with fear? You don't just choose your friends. You choose your future through them. Now here's the good news. You don't need a crowd. You don't need an audience. You just need a mastermind. That could be 2 people, 3, maybe 5. People who believe in you, who challenge your excuses, who push you when you hesitate, who remind you who you are when you forget. And when you align with them, something happens. Your faith grows, your ideas sharpen, your action multiplies. You stop drifting, you start rising. So how do you build a mastermind? 1. Seek alignment, not convenience. Find people who are on the same path, not perfect, but purposeful. 2. Add value first. Don't ask, what can I get? Ask, what can I give? The best way to attract power is to offer it. 3. Meet regularly, share boldly, grow together, protect that space, keep it sacred, and watch your life transform. Let me say this loud and clear. Success is not a solo sport. It's a team pursuit. And the right circle, they won't let you settle. They won't let you shrink. They'll remind you that you were born to lead, not just follow. So build your mastermind, nurture it, honor it, and watch how far you go when you stop going alone. Let me say it straight. Success is not for the most talented. It's not for the luckiest. It's for the most persistent. Persistence is to character what carbon is to steel. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. You can have a burning desire, a clear vision, a bulletproof plan. But if you quit at the first sign of resistance, you lose. Because life will test you, not to break you, but to ask, how badly do you really want this? And here's what most people get wrong. They think failure is a dead end. They think rejection is a sign to stop. They think obstacles mean it's not meant to be. No, obstacles are not a no. They are a challenge, a question, a threshold, and only those with persistence walk through. Let me share something real with you. Every person I studied, every millionaire, inventor, leader, world changer, was told no, was rejected, was laughed at, was knocked down. But they got back up, again and again and again, until the world had no choice but to listen. Persistence is not just a habit. It is a declaration. It says to life, I'm not going away. I'm not giving up. I will find a way, or I will create one. That's the creed of a champion. So how do you build unshakable persistence? 1. Don't negotiate with your goals. Stop saying, I'll try. Start saying, I must. There's a world of difference between wanting and committing. 2. Expect resistance and run toward it. The obstacle is the path. Each setback is training. It's preparing you for the weight of success. 3. Remind yourself why you started every single day, because the moment you forget your why is the moment quitting starts to make sense. Let me be honest with you. Quitting is always the easier option, but it's never the fulfilling one. The pain of pushing forward will pass, but the pain of regret, that echoes for a lifetime. So keep moving, 1 inch, 1 breath, 1 bold step at a time. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be relentless. Victory belongs to the most persevering, Napoleon Bonaparte. And Hill would agree, because dreams are not given, They're earned by those who refuse to give up. Let me ask you now, what if you stopped drifting? What if you finally decided? What if you stepped into the life that's been waiting on the other side of fear, doubt, distraction, and delay? Because here's the truth. You don't need more time. You don't need more motivation. You don't need permission. You need to choose, and you need to commit. Right now, not tomorrow, not someday, not after things calm down. Because things won't calm down, but you can rise up. Everything we've covered, definiteness of purpose, positive mental attitude, imagination, discipline, persistence, they are not just ideas. They are not just principles. They are weapons. They are tools. They are the laws that govern every triumph, every breakthrough, every legacy. And they are already yours, right now, within you. You just have to awaken them, activate them, live them. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. You are powerful. You are intentional. And you are absolutely capable of building a life that reflects the greatness inside you. But you have to decide, am I going to keep wishing, or am I going to start building? Because the dream doesn't work until you do. So I leave you with this. You were born with purpose, gifted with thought, endowed with imagination, and armed with the ability to choose. So choose boldly, walk with faith, speak with fire, act with discipline, surround yourself with power, and refuse, absolutely refuse, to quit. Because when you live by these principles, you won't just succeed, you'll become unstoppable.